I would like to call to order the regular scheduled Glendale Redevelopment Agency meeting of April 22nd, 2008. May we have roll call, please?
Agency members: Draymond. Here. Quintero.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Sepian.
Here.
Chairman Najarian.
Here. Next item, please.
Well, with your permission, I'll read the report's agenda for the April 22nd, 2008 regular meeting of the Glendale Redevelopment Agency. It was posted on Thursday, April 17, 2008 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Number 4.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
And I will abstain for the April Fool's gift I got.
With no corrections or modifications, the minutes will be accepted as submitted. Next item.
Next is oral communication. Discussion is limited to items not part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Members of the redevelopment agency may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The matter may be referred to staff through the executive director for an investigation and a report.
I do not have any cards on this agenda item. I'll close oral communications.
Are there any agency member or staff comments?
I have a comment. No one else does. The Americana is certainly shaping up. However, Mr. Lanzafame, on Brand Boulevard, as you proceed southbound, the numbers of the stores in the Americana, which are addressed as Americana Way, are prominently placed on the storefronts fronting Brand Boulevard. I had one call from someone who was concerned that it appears as though that's a Brand Boulevard street number. So if we can take a look at that. I'm not sure if there's some regulation regarding where the numbers have to be.
We approved that. We approved his own numbering system.
I'm not talking about the system, but I'm talking about the location. Mr. Stark.
Let me just say, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I've had the same concern. The numbers exist on Central. They also exist on Brand. If they weren't so prominent, I know they relate to the interior road and where those entrances front, but I think there does need to be some method of distinguishing those locations as recognizing they're on Brand, even though there may be a frontage that goes into Americana Way, such as, for example, the Americana Way number could be in parentheses and the Brand address are above, or vice versa. My concern is somebody driving on Brand, trying to find South Brand, will get to that block and look over and see, uh-oh, somehow I've gotten on Americana Way. And the same thing could happen on Central. They might be looking for something on South Central, look to their left and see, uh-oh, because, for example, the awning and the entrance to the apartments on Central have the number very prominent on the awning as if that is the location on the street, and it's not the location on that street. I think that's a serious issue, and I've asked Phil to take a look at some way that we can begin to address it. I think there'll be a lot of confusion in the community over time, especially for people who aren't familiar with the location, maybe here at night and are just searching for some other address on Brand or Central. So we'll take a look at that.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Draymond.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to raise one issue also related to Americana. I had emailed a couple of people about it, but I just want to raise it because maybe we can find out an answer. Do we know yet what exactly, and Mr. City Manager, I emailed you on this, we are doing with the lights on the tower? Because I'm getting, and I'm sure you have as well, my colleagues, emails and calls from people as far away as Adams Hill that are saying, we're seeing all of these bright colors flashing. What is this? And it's really bothering our view of the city, in essence. So what is that going to settle into?
Mr. Stark.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Mr. Draymond, just this morning I asked Mr. Lemo to please get us a description of how that, I call it the spire, of how the spire on the elevator shaft is going to be programmed. I think what everybody saw initially has been the testing of it. I'm hoping that the actual operation of it is going to be something less than what we saw in the tests. But Mr. Lemo assured me that they would get us a description of how that is intended to be programmed. I'm under the impression that when the Caruso folks looked at the original design, there was actually a a computerized version of how the program would look that they saw. It struck me, we should get a copy of that and see, what's intended for that to look like. I think we have had a half a dozen or so emails from people who are saying that's becoming a negative in the city's skyline. And Mr. Lemo assured me they'd get us a description of how that's to work. I understand it is tied to the whole fountain and the whole programming that takes place from the spire to the fountain down through the center, but we don't know exactly what that is at this point.
Okay. So, thank you.
We've made them sensitive to the issue.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments? There's no new business.
Move to adjourn. Second.
Redevelopment Agency is adjourned.